So here we know that কিছু বলেছিল থেকে কালকে কি বলছে বিজয় স্যার বলেছিল কাদের ও যে কলেজে আসার জন্য কখন ক্লাস হ্যালো ছিল না ওই উইকটা তাই না হ্যাঁ ওই সময় তো মারা ছিল না Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so students, those who have not submitted the assignments, I am telling the names, that is Bishwajit Prasad Singh, you have not still submitted the assignment of CA3. Next is Sajjan Kumar. Sajjan Kumar. Okay. So Sajjan Kumar and Bishwajit Prasad Singh. These two students have not still submitted the assignments. Okay, so inform them if they are in contact with you, inform them that I will be putting 0 marks for them if they do not upload it by today. Okay, so I have already told many times to upload the assignments, but still students are not taking it seriously. So that's not my responsibility now. I am going to put 0. Okay, just inform them. Let me just again give the notice in the WhatsApp group.
ম্যাডাম ম্যাডাম তোমার সবাই দিয়ে দিচ্ছে অ্যাসাইনমেন্ট জমা ওই কুইজটা সবাই দিয়ে দিচ্ছে কি বলছো কুইজটা সবাই সাবমিট করেছে কোন কুইজ এটা তুমি দিলে আগের দিন অ্যাসাইনমেন্ট দিলে না হ্যাঁ সবাই দিয়ে দিয়েছে আরে এমএসটিএম এর অ্যাসাইনমেন্ট ওটা সবাই দেয়নি আমার সামনে দেয়নি 58 জন দিয়েছে
Okay. Screen visible, students? Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So today we will be learning about class diagrams. Okay. So class diagrams, actually it is also a part of object oriented modeling using UML. So while discussing UML, I have discussed that we will be learning some more diagrams like class diagrams, sequence diagrams in our next classes. So object, we know that what are the object oriented. I think you are familiar with these concepts. You have learned in Java. You are having Java in your in this current semester. So I'm not going to discuss this in detail, just an overview I'm giving, and I will be directly jumping in the class diagram. Okay. So object oriented concepts in object, we know that object oriented design techniques are extremely popular. So inception in early 1980s and nearing maturity, widespread acceptance in industry and academics, and UML, that is Unified Modeling Language, is already an ISO standard, that is ISO IEC 19501. So this is about object oriented concepts. And what is object, you know. What are objects, what are classes, you already know. So a system is designed as a set of interacting objects, often real world entities. So examples of objects are an employee, a book, etc. And it can also be can be conceptual objects also, like controller, manager, etc. So objects consists of data, that is attributes, and functions, that is methods. Okay. That operate on data. So it basically hides organization of internal information, that is also called data abstraction. So see here, these are the methods, that is M1, M2, M3, M4, M5, M6, M7, M8. These are the methods of, and this is the data, and this is the object. So this is basically the model of an object. So what are classes? Classes are instances of objects, which it is also template. It is also a template for object creation, and it is also considered as abstract data type. So employees, books, are the examples of classes. So sometimes not intended to produce instance is called abstract class. Okay. So see here, today we will be learning about class diagram. So before that, let's just understand what are class diagrams. Okay. So class diagram basically describes the static structure of the system. So it shows how a system is structured rather than how it behaves. So it is showing the overall structure. So in class diagram, basically, you see the overall model of a class diagram. Okay, just a second, students. First, there will be the name of the class. Okay, so you just need to put the name. After that, attributes, and then operations. Okay, so these are the three parts of class diagram. First, you need to mention the name, then you need to mention the attributes, and after that you need to mention the operations. And also there are different types of access specifiers that we need to use in while using the class diagrams. That is, one is private, and one is public. We used to denote this plus as public. Next is private. we actually denote the public by plus, then this minus by private, then hash by protected, okay, protected. So I hope you are familiar with this different types of terminologies: private, public, protected. These are different access specifiers which you have already learned in Java. So I am not going to discuss everything in detail, but just I will give some examples to make you understand. Next, this one is for package. Okay. So these are the 4 types of terminologies that we will be using while discussing the class diagrams. Okay. So the static structure of a system comprises of a number of class diagrams and their dependencies. So for every class diagram, we will be having some sort of dependencies. The main constituents of a class diagram are class and their relationships. Okay. So there will be a class and corresponding relationships, and those relationships can be generalization, aggregation, association, and various kinds of dependencies. So what are next is, just see what are classes. So basically the class represents entities with common features, that is attributes and operations. So for every class there will be some attributes, name and operations, and classes are represented as solid outline rectangles with compartments. So classes have a mandatory name compartment where the name is written centered in boldface. So just see here, name will be written in the center, and then the class name is usually written using mixed case convention and begins with an uppercase. So always it will start with uppercase and it will be a mixed case convention. Object names on the other hand are written using a mixed case convention but starts with a small case letter. So class names are usually chosen to be singular nouns. So just see one example of class diagram. Okay, just focus students, pay attention. This is an example of class diagram. So see here, this library member is what? This is the name. So that's why it is written like this. Next, all these are different types of attributes. Okay, all these are the different types of attributes. So what are attributes? Just first understand. So an attribute is a named property of a class. Okay, so it represents the kind of data that an object might contain. That is, named means, suppose, see, if you are considering a library member, then it is having member name, right? So for every library member it will have some member name, then membership number will be there, address, phone number, email address, membership admission date, okay, membership expiry date, books issued. All this can be enclosed in the in this all this can be enclosed in these attributes. Okay, so see here, attributes are listed with their names and may optionally contain specification of their type, that is their class, example int, book, employees, etc., and an initial value and constraints. So attribute names are written always, this, see, it is all the attributes are written in left justified using plain type letters. So here we are using plain type letters, and see all the attributes are left justified and the names should begin with a lowercase. Okay, so next is attribute names may be followed by a square bracket. So see here, these are the attributes. So we are always using it as starting with small letters. Okay, and there, see, for every attribute we are having some it is having some brackets. Okay, so some brackets containing a multiplicity expression. Okay, so the multiplicity expression indicates the number of attributes per instance of the class. An attribute without square brackets must hold exactly one value. Okay, So whenever you are giving this kind of brackets, that means it is holding more than one value. And if you want to specify that it should not hold more than one value, for that you can skip this bracket. Okay. So the type of an attribute is written like this. Just see here. Let's just write one attribute. So it will be like, just see one example. Okay. So if we give a small example of library member, it may like look like this. So library library member. Now it is having some name, then semester, then branch. Okay. Next, the methods are, one is issue book, okay. So you can issue more than one book, so that's why it is having this pair of braces. Okay. And another one is return book. Also, if you are issuing more than one book, then you will be returning more than one book, so that's why return book will be in this pair of braces. Okay. So see here, that's why it is given. So here issue book, then find pending books. You can also find multiple pending books, so that's why it is enclosed in this pair of braces. Then also find overdue books. Also you can find multiple overdue books. So see, now return book, find membership detail, multiple membership details you can see. So see here, that's why we are enclosing all this in this pair of braces. Okay. Next is operation. What operations we are performing? So operation, see here. So the operation names are typically left justified in plain type and always begin with a lowercase letter. Abstract operations are written in italics. Okay. So see. So what are next is so the parameters of a function may have a kind of specified. The kind may be in indicating that the parameter is passed into the operation, or out, indicating that the parameter is only returned from the operation, or input. In out, we can specify like indicating that the parameter is used for passing into the operation and getting the result from the operation. Okay. So we will be having in, one in will be there, another one will be out, and another one will be in out. Okay. So the an operation may have a return type consisting of a single return type expression. Example, issue book. So see here, there, that is book name, which can be written in Boolean form, and an operation may have a class scope that is shared among all the objects of the class and is denoted by underlying the operation name. Okay. So often a distinction is made between the terms operation and method. So see here, operation and method is having slight difference. So an operation is something that is supported by a class and invoked by object of other classes. There can be multiple methods implementing the same operation, and we have seen that earlier that this static class is called static polymorphism. So you know the concept of polymorphism. Students, what is polymorphism? What is polymorphism? This is a common term in object-oriented design. Like you are learning Java. What is polymorphism, students? Polymorphism. Anyone? Poly means multiple. Okay, so one name, multiple forms. Whenever we are implementing, that is called polymorphism. So, anyways, so see here. So the method names can be the same. However, it is possible to distinguish among the methods by examining their parameters. Thus, the term operation and method are distinguishable only when there is a polymorphism, and when there is a single method implementing an operation, the term method and operation are indistinguishable and can be used interchangeably. Okay. So see here, what are methods and messages? So operations supported by an object, that is actually meaning for that means for manipulating the data of other objects, and invoked by a sending message, that is also called method call. So example, calculate salary, issue book, member details, etc. So what are the different types of relationships among classes? So these are the 4 types of relationship, that is, one is inheritance, another one is association, then aggregation or composition, and dependency. So see here, what is inheritance? So inheritance is actually it allows to define a new class, that is derived class, by extending or modifying existing class, that is base class. So inheritance is in the inheritance relationship is represented by means of an empty arrow pointed from the superclass to the subclass to the superclass. So the arrow may be directly drawn from the subclass to the superclass, and alternatively, when there are many subclasses of a base class, the inheritance arrow from the subclass may be combined into a single line. So see, this is an example of inheritance. So see here, these are the subclasses and this is the superclass. So let a subclass inherit attributes and methods for more than one base class. So see here, this is the base class, that is library member, and these are the sub-derived classes, that is faculty, students, and staff. So faculties can also be a member of library, students can also be, and staffs can also be. So these are the subclasses, and this is the superclass, and from subclass we are defining the arrow to superclass. Okay, that means we are actually inheriting all the functionalities of the base class to the derived class. Okay, similarly, students can also be divided as undergraduate students, postgraduate, and research students. Okay, research scholars. So that's why see, students are also having this differentiation, and see the arrow is from this to down, bottom to up. Okay, so in this way we are representing. So see here, so that's why when there are many subclasses of a base class, the inheritance arrow from the subclass may be combined into a single line. So this is an example of inheritance of library book. So see here, uh, representation of the inheritance relationship. So this is the library book, that is issuable single volume book and issuable book set, reference single volume book and reference book set. So see here, it is having two, issuable and reference. So in this way it is dividing. So here we can say that the direct arrows allow flexibility in laying out the diagram and can easily be drawn by hand, and the combined arrows emphasizes the collectivity of the subclass when specialization has been done on the basis of some discriminator. So the various subclasses of a superclass can then be differentiated by means of the discriminator. The set of subclasses of a class having the same discriminator is called partition, and it is often helpful to mention the discriminator during modeling, as this become documented design decisions. Okay, so this is about inheritance. See, this is multiple inheritance. Okay, so see, multiple inheritance is happening. Next is association relationship. What is association between all the classes? Okay, so association between two classes is represented by drawing a straight line between the concerned classes. So here, see, this is an example of association. See, library member and book are associated with each other. So one member can take multiple books. So that's why we are putting star here from the book side, and one library member. So one to many relationship is there, and the book is borrowed by a library member. So that's why we are putting an arrow mark here. Okay, so this is actually the graphical representation of the association relationship. So the name of the association is written alongside the association line. So this is the name of the association that is borrowed by. So an arrowhead may be placed. So see, here we are placing an arrowhead may be placed on the association line to indicate the reading direction of the association. So this is the reading direction from book to library member. Okay, so the arrowhead should not be misunderstood to be indicating the direction of a pointer implementing an association on each side of the association relationship. The multiplicity is noted as an individual number or as a value range. So the multiplicity indicates how many instances of one class are associated with each other, and value ranges of multiplicity are noted by specifying the minimum and maximum values separated by dots. Example, like 1 to many, so 1 to up to 5. So an asterisk is used as a wildcard and means many, that is 0 or more numbers can be there, and the association should be read as many books can be borrowed by a library member. So see, that's why we are placing 1 and star here. That means from here to here we are reading, not from this side to, from right to left we are reading. So that's why we are putting this arrow in this part. That means we will be reading the association relationship like many books can be borrowed by a library member. Okay, so usually association, that is links, appear as verbs in the problem statement. So whenever you will be finding any verb in your problem statement, you just blindly understand that this is an association relationship. So associations are usually realized by assigning appropriate reference attributes to the classes involved. Thus associations can be implemented using pointers from one object class to another, and links and associations can also be implemented by using a separate class that stores which objects of a class are linked to which objects of another class. Okay, so some okay, so this is about association. So see, this is a 3-array association. Okay, that is ternary association. See, person, skill, these are many to many, and this is the competency level, that is whether it is A grade level or B grade or C grade, in this way. So link, this is an association and link. This is association relationship. Okay, so we will be aggregation relationship we will be discussing in our next class. That is, we are having our lab from 1 to 2. So we will be discussing the aggregation relationship in that lab, and aggregation and composition we will be discussing all this in the next class. Okay, so as of now, do you have any problem, students? Any doubt, any problems?
तो अगर ठीक है तो सर से बात करो, बट मैंने तो बोल दिया था कि तुम्हारा एआई
Hello, students, any doubt?
कैसे हो गया, मतलब तुम्हारा एआई में मैंने तुमसे बात किया था तो मैं
So I am again naming the students, that is Vishwajit Prasad Singh and Sajjan Kumar still have not submitted the assignment. So inform them to submit. I have already given the notice to in WhatsApp group. But again, I am telling everyone should submit, otherwise I will put 0 marks. So if they are in contact with you, inform them to submit. Okay. So, okay, students, now with this, I am closing the session. We will again meet in our next session, that is from 1 to 2. We will again meet and continue the concepts of software engineering, that is class diagram. So as of now, you can leave.